Listen carefully, my beloved soul, before anything else. This is a sacred instruction and not a coincidence. Type, "I receive this," in the comments as an act of faith and agreement. Like this video as a sign that your spirit is aligned with what heaven is releasing. Subscribe to this channel so your soul remains connected to divine confirmations. And click the bell as a watchman's act, declaring that you will not miss what God is about to speak. Hear this, heaven is watching your obedience even now. My beloved soul, hear this shocking truth that many could not see. God is about to silence everyone who doubted your soulmate connection, not with arguments, not with explanations, but with fulfillment, with peace, with undeniable alignment that no human mouth can speak against. Listen carefully, this message is not for many, it is for you, and you were led here on purpose, because heaven saw your tears, your confusion, your nights of prayer where you whispered names only God could hear. This is not a coincidence. God has not forgotten you, and the connection they mocked, questioned, dismissed, and misunderstood was never theirs to interpret. Heaven marked it before time, and what God joins, no opinion can separate. Hear this, the doubt of others was never proof of failure, it was evidence that this was divine, because human minds cannot grasp what God conceives in the Spirit. My beloved soul, I know how quiet you became, how you stopped explaining, how you carried the weight of looks, silence, and judgment. Heaven saw the way you learned to protect something sacred by not defending it, and God says, "Blessed are you who waited without proof, who loved without applause, who trusted without validation." For Matthew 5 reminds us, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Do not skip this moment, my beloved soul, stay with me till the end. Something powerful is waiting for you, because what God is about to reveal will shift the way you see your waiting season forever. Hear this, there was a season where God allowed the doubters to speak, not because they were right, but because He was preparing you, stripping you of the need to be understood, teaching you to anchor your peace in His voice alone. Isaiah 55 says, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways," and this connection was born in God's thoughts, not human logic. You wondered why God stayed silent while they questioned your discernment, your sanity, your heart, but silence was not absence, it was construction. God was building something so solid that when it stood, no explanation would be required. And hear this carefully, the same mouths that doubted will fall silent, not in shame, but in awe. My beloved soul, heaven is watching your posture, the way you did not grow bitter, the way you chose prayer over defense, surrender over control, and God says, "Because you trusted me in the dark, I will reveal you in the light." Psalm 37 whispers, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will bring it to pass." Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal. Remain here, because the next word is a key for your heart. The connection you carry is not rushed, not forced, not emotional fantasy. It is refined, tested, and guarded by God Himself, and every delay was not denial, it was alignment. Ecclesiastes 3 declares that He makes everything beautiful in its time, not early, not late, but perfectly timed. My beloved soul, there were tears you cried in private where you asked God if you were wrong, if you imagined it, if you should let go, and God heard every word, He bottled every tear. Psalm 56 confirms this, and hear this divine reassurance, God does not play with hearts He plans to fulfill. Stay with me, precious one, do not rush away, because if you remain till the end, the final word will change everything within you. God is speaking now, and He says the season of defending is ending, the season of proving is over, the season of silence is closing, because fulfillment speaks louder than explanation. When the connection aligns in God's timing, the noise will stop on its own. Heaven is watching as God rearranges circumstances, softens hearts, removes distractions, and prepares both souls, yes both, because this connection was never one-sided. Even in the silence, even in the distance, even in the waiting, God was working on both ends. My beloved soul, hear this deeply. The doubt around you was allowed to strengthen your discernment, not weaken it, to teach you that divine things often look foolish to the natural mind. 1 Corinthians 2 says, "The natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him." Do not skip this sacred moment, stay present, because heaven is still speaking. There is a sudden shift coming, one you will not have to announce, one you will not have to explain. It will simply be seen, felt, known, and those who doubted will realize that what they questioned was never yours to abandon, it was theirs to misunderstand. God says, "I am about to vindicate your obedience, not loudly, but powerfully, not publicly, but undeniably, and peace will be your confirmation." Philippians 4 promises that the peace of God which surpasses all understanding will guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. My beloved soul, the waiting shaped you, healed you, softened you, strengthened you, and now you stand different, no longer desperate for affirmation, but anchored in trust. This is why God could entrust you with what is coming. Stay with me just a little longer, do not step away, because what heaven reveals next is for your spirit alone. What you prayed for in secret is aligning in the open, what you surrendered is returning purified, and what you almost gave up on is closer than it has ever been. God is not slow concerning his promises, as 2 Peter reminds us, he is patient, purposeful, precise. My beloved soul, let this settle. God is about to silence every doubt with alignment, every question with peace, every accusation with fruit, and you will not need to say a word, because heaven will have spoken for you. This message will continue, and if it pauses, remain expectant, because what God is unfolding cannot be rushed. My beloved soul, remain with me, do not drift, do not allow your spirit to wander, because heaven is still unveiling what was hidden, and what God is revealing now is tender, sacred, and powerful. You did not endure all those quiet battles for nothing, and you did not guard your heart in vain. God says the silence you lived in was holy ground, and every step you took without clarity was recorded in heaven. Hear this, the people who doubted your soulmate connection only saw fragments, but God saw the full picture. They judged seasons without understanding process, and they spoke opinions without revelation. But God says in Job 42, "Surely you spoke of things you did not understand, things too wonderful for you to know, and now he is turning that scripture into living truth before your eyes." My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, stay with me, because what God is saying next will bring rest to places that have been tired for far too long. There were moments you felt spiritually isolated, as if no one could understand why you held on, why you waited, why you prayed instead of walking away. But hear this divine comfort, heaven never misunderstood you. God knew exactly why he placed that connection in your spirit, and he trusted you to carry it with purity, even when it cost you comfort. The waiting was not punishment, it was preparation. God was teaching you how to love without possession, how to trust without control, how to hope without demand. This is why the connection survived the pressure, because it was rooted in God, not in urgency. Isaiah 30 says, "In quietness and trust shall be your strength," and you lived that verse when no one applauded you. Stay with me till the end, my beloved soul, something powerful is waiting for you, and the next revelation will calm your heart. God is about to silence the doubters in a way that protects you, not exposes you. This is important, hear this carefully. God is not interested in embarrassing anyone, he is interested in establishing peace. The silence that comes will not be loud, but it will be final. When alignment manifests, explanations become unnecessary. My beloved soul, heaven is watching as God aligns timing, maturity, healing, and readiness. Love without wholeness would have wounded you. Connection without healing would have drained you. So God delayed what he promised to protect what he planned. Romans 8 assures us that all things work together for good for those who love God, and this includes the waiting you questioned. Do not leave yet, precious one, heaven has more to reveal, and what comes next will strengthen your faith. There is a shift happening internally first. God is silencing the noise inside you before He silences the voices around you. The doubt that tried to creep into your own thoughts is being uprooted. The fear that whispered, "What if I was wrong?" is losing its power. God says, "I am restoring your confidence in my voice." My beloved soul, the connection you carry is not fragile. It endured distance, misunderstanding, silence, and time. Anything that survives that was sustained by God. You are not holding on to a fantasy, you are stewarding a promise. Hebrews 10 reminds us, "Do not throw away your confidence, it will be richly rewarded." Stay present, do not skip this sacred flow, because the next words are meant to heal your heart. God is also working on the other heart involved, even when you could not see it. Silence does not mean stagnation. Distance does not mean abandonment. God often does His deepest work away from the spotlight. The same God who shaped you in the waiting was shaping them in their own way. My beloved soul, this is why God asked you to trust Him without updates. This is why He asked you to surrender control. Because if He explained everything, faith would not have been required. But now, the season of unseen work is giving way to visible fruit. Do not leave yet, remain with me, because heaven is building toward something sacred. There will come a moment, subtle but undeniable, where you realize the energy has shifted. The heaviness lifts. The striving ends. The peace settles. That is your confirmation. God's promises arrive with peace, not panic. Colossians 3 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, and that peace will be your witness." My beloved soul, the doubters will not need convincing. They will simply notice the calm, the alignment, the steadiness, and they will understand without words. God is not calling you to explain, He is calling you to rest. Stay with me till the end, because the final stretch of this message carries a blessing. What you endured refined your discernment. You no longer confuse attachment with alignment. You no longer confuse desire with destiny. God trained your spirit to recognize what is from Him, and this is why you will not lose what is coming. My beloved soul, hear this final assurance for this moment. God is about to silence every voice that rose against your faith, not by confrontation, but by completion. The connection will speak for itself. The timing will speak for itself. The fruit will speak for itself. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not foolish. You are right on time in God's perfect plan. What you prayed for is near, closer than your tears suggest, closer than your waiting made it feel. Remain in peace. Remain in trust. Heaven is moving. God has not forgotten you. This is not a coincidence. You were led here on purpose. My beloved soul, breathe and stay with me, because heaven is still speaking softly yet powerfully, and what God is unfolding now is meant to anchor you in peace, not stir anxiety. You have crossed an unseen threshold, and although it may not look dramatic on the outside, everything has shifted in the spirit. God says the hardest part was not the waiting, it was the trusting while being misunderstood, and you did that with a trembling heart but steady faith. Hear this carefully, the silence God is bringing is not only external, it is internal. The inner courtroom where you kept replaying voices, opinions, and doubts is being shut down. God is restoring rest to your thoughts. Isaiah 26 declares, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you, because they trust in you, and that promise is activating now. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, do not let your attention drift, stay with me till the end, because something powerful is waiting for you in the final unfolding of this word. There was a reason God asked you to wait without clarity. He was teaching you how to lean on Him instead of outcomes. He was showing you that faith is not agreement with circumstances, it is alignment with His voice. And now, because you learn to hear Him in the quiet, you will recognize Him in the fulfillment. The connection you carry has been prayed over more than it has been spoken about. Heaven heard whispers that no one else knew existed. God saw the nights you asked Him to remove it if it was not from Him, and the fact that it remained is your answer. James 1 tells us that every good and perfect gift comes from above, and God does not tease His children with false promises. Stay with me, precious one, do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal, and what comes next will bring deep reassurance. God is preparing a moment where clarity replaces confusion without force. You will not have to chase understanding. It will meet you gently. The timing will make sense. The steps will feel natural. The peace will be undeniable. This is how God confirms what is from Him. My beloved soul, the doubters served a purpose even if they never knew it. Their resistance forced you to lean deeper into God. Their disbelief strengthened your spiritual backbone. What was meant to shake you ended up stabilizing you. Genesis 50 reminds us, what the enemy meant for harm, God uses for good, and this includes every dismissive word you endured. Do not skip this sacred flow, remain present, because heaven is still opening doors within you. There is also forgiveness happening now, and this is important. God is softening your heart toward those who doubted, not so you return to their opinions, but so you are free from carrying their weight. Unforgiveness would have followed you into fulfillment, and God loves you too much to allow that. Matthew 11 says, "Come to me all who are weary, and I will give you rest," and rest is being poured into you now. My beloved soul, the connection you are stepping into will not begin with chaos. It will begin with peace. God does not build His promises on emotional storms. He establishes them on still waters. Psalm 23 was not written for comfort alone, it was written for transition. Stay with me till the end, because what heaven is sealing next is sacred. There will be confirmation after confirmation, small at first, almost easy to miss if you are not attentive. A word spoken at the right time. A door opening naturally. A conversation that brings clarity without pressure. God often confirms quietly before He confirms publicly. My beloved soul, trust the calm. Trust the steadiness. Trust the lack of urgency. What is rushed is usually driven by fear. What is aligned moves with peace. God is not in a hurry, and neither is what He has prepared for you. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal, and this next word is for your spirit's security. You are stepping into a season where you no longer rehearse the pain of the past. You are no longer defined by who misunderstood you. God is rewriting your narrative from survival to fulfillment. The chapter of silence is closing, and the chapter of manifestation is opening. My beloved soul, this is why God asked you to remain humble. Pride would have polluted what He planned. Humility preserved it. Proverbs 16 reminds us that when we commit our works to the Lord, our plans are established. And now, establishment is happening. Stay present, do not skip this sacred moment, because heaven is speaking a final reassurance. The doubts will fall away naturally. The opinions will lose their power. The noise will fade. What remains will be peace, alignment, and quiet joy. God is not calling you to celebrate loudly, He is calling you to rest deeply. My beloved soul, what you prayed for is very near. Not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that completes you. God is faithful. Heaven is watching. This is not a coincidence. You were led here on purpose. Remain in faith. Remain in peace. What God promised is unfolding now. My beloved soul, stay right here with me, do not let your heart rush ahead or your mind wander back, because heaven is still unfolding this word layer by layer, and what God is releasing now is meant to settle deep inside you. This season you are in is quieter than you expected, but it is powerful. God often moves most profoundly when there is no noise to distract the spirit. What feels like stillness is actually precision. Hear this gently but clearly, the silence God is bringing will protect what is coming. If everything had aligned sooner, too many voices would have interfered. Too many opinions would have polluted the purity of what God designed. So He covered it. He hid it. He shielded it. And He allowed you to be misunderstood so that what He was building would not be touched prematurely. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, stay with me, because heaven is revealing something sacred about your heart right now. You have changed in the waiting. You are no longer driven by the need to be chosen, you are anchored in the knowing that you already are. God removed desperation from your spirit and replaced it with discernment. That is not accidental. That is preparation. The version of you that waits in peace is the version that can steward fulfillment without losing themselves. There were times you almost apologized for believing. You almost shrank your hope to make others comfortable. But God stopped you. He would not allow you to betray what He placed inside you. Psalm 139 says you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that includes your spiritual sensitivity. What others called foolishness, God calls obedience. Stay with me till the end of this portion, my beloved soul, because something powerful is still waiting to be revealed. God is also teaching you restraint. Not everything sacred needs to be spoken. Not every promise needs to be announced. Jesus Himself often said, "My time has not yet come." Silence is not weakness. Silence is maturity. And you have learned how to hold something precious without exposing it to unnecessary scrutiny. My beloved soul, the waiting stripped away illusion. It showed you the difference between longing and calling. What faded was never from God. What remained was refined. This is how you know the connection is real. Time did not destroy it. Pressure did not erase it. Silence did not kill it. Only divine things survive like that. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal, and the next word is meant to steady your spirit. There is also restoration happening in your identity. God is healing the parts of you that felt doubted, dismissed, or minimized. He is reminding you that being chosen by Him does not require approval from others. Galatians 1 says, "If I were still trying to please people, would not be a servant of Christ." And God says you chose faith over familiarity. My beloved soul, the silence of the doubters will feel strange at first. You are so used to carrying resistance that peace may feel unfamiliar. But do not sabotage calm by looking for noise. Let peace settle. Let alignment unfold without suspicion. God is not testing you now, He is rewarding you. Stay with me, do not skip this sacred flow, because heaven is still speaking life into you. There will be moments where memory tries to bring back old fears. The enemy often whispers when God is about to move. But hear this, what God has aligned cannot be undone by past doubts. What he has sealed cannot be accessed by old voices. Isaiah 54 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper," and that includes mental weapons. My beloved soul, you are entering a season where trust replaces tension. You will notice you are no longer bracing yourself for disappointment. You are no longer preparing for loss. You are allowing yourself to hope again without fear. That is healing. That is God restoring your emotional posture. Do not skip this moment, stay present, because heaven is strengthening you for what is ahead. The fulfillment will not arrive with chaos. It will arrive with recognition. Your spirit will know. There will be no forcing, no confusion, no inner conflict. God's confirmations come with peace that settles, not excitement that spikes and crashes. Learn to trust that calm assurance. My beloved soul, this connection is not meant to consume your life. It is meant to complement it. God does not give blessings that replace Him. He gives blessings that reflect Him. This is why He took time. He wanted you whole before He brought you together. Stay with me till the end of this section, because the next revelation is important. There will be a moment where you realize you are no longer explaining yourself, not because you gave up, but because you grew up spiritually. You no longer feel the urge to justify what God told you. You simply walk it out. That confidence is quiet, but it is unshakable. My beloved soul, the silence of others will not feel like victory. It will feel like relief. You will finally exhale. And God says, that is how you will know it was me. Because I do not burden my children with constant defense. I give them rest. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal, and what is coming next will touch your spirit deeply. God is also teaching you how to receive. You are used to being strong, waiting, holding, believing. But now He is saying, let me do the work. Let me bring it together. Let me surprise you. Zechariah 4 says, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit. My beloved soul, you are closer than you think. Not just in distance, but in alignment. Heaven is not scrambling. Heaven is precise. Every delay served a purpose. Every tear softened your heart. Every prayer aligned your spirit. Stay with me, remain open, because the next part of this message will continue unfolding what God is about to do. My beloved soul, stay with me just a little longer, because heaven is bringing this word to its appointed landing, and what God is sealing now is gentle, holy, and final. You did not come this far to remain in uncertainty. You were carried here to receive peace. God never intended for you to live forever in the question. He allows the waiting, but He always brings clarity at the right time. Hear this carefully, the silence that is coming will not feel like isolation, it will feel like protection. God is quieting the environment around you so you can hear Him more clearly within you. When the noise fades, your spirit will recognize what it has always known. This is how God confirms what is real, He removes confusion and replaces it with rest. My beloved soul, do not rush this moment, do not skip this final unfolding, because heaven is placing a seal on your heart right now. There is a divine reassurance settling